Incredible historic moment. You're from the South Bronx, now representing, being a voice for the South Bronx in Washington. Tell me how you felt when you heard the news that this will now be your next position.
I have never felt more grateful and gratified in my life as I do now. I never thought as a poor kid from the Bronx that I would become a United States congressman. I spent most of my life in poverty, raised by a single mother who had to raise three children on minimum wage, which in the 1990s was $4.25. And I grew up in leaking and molded conditions in public housing. And I never thought that I would embark on a journey that would take me from public housing in the Bronx to the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. So I'm grateful. And it's particularly meaningful because I'm succeeding Jose Serrano, who has dedicated his life to the Bronx for 40 years. And when Jose Serrano entered the Congress in 1990, I was only 2 years old. I probably was watching the Rugrats. And so yesterday's election in 2020 represents a real passing of the torch. And I'm honored to represent the next generation of leadership, not only in the South Bronx, but across the country. The highest priority should be to put people back to work through massive investments in infrastructure and to put income in the pockets of working people and struggling families, because the road to recovery for both our city and our country will run through our families. So I'm a strong proponent of expanding the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit, because it would put dollars in the pockets of the families that need it the most, and families whose spending would have the greatest impact in stimulating our economy. We also need emergency rental assistance for families that are on the verge of eviction and displacement during COVID-19. So I agree that the highest priority has to be to create jobs and to create income for the families that need it the most. So I am set to become the first openly LGBTQ Afro-Latino member of Congress in the United States, as well as the first openly LGBTQ member of Congress from New York City. And who would have thought that the first openly LGBTQ member of Congress from New York City would come not from Chelsea or Hell's Kitchen or the Village, but from the South Bronx, in a place where you would least expect it. That represents a new kind of breakthrough for LGBTQ representation in politics. I hope that my story can inspire people who might be struggling to come out. I hope to represent the possibility that a poor kid or an LGBTQ kid or a kid of color from places like the Bronx can overcome the odds and become a member of the world's greatest legislature, the United States Congress. So I hope that my example serves as an inspiration to others.